Never before in history have there been so many people on Earth as right now. Our numbers have skyrocketed from 1 billion in 1800 to 2.3 billion in 1940, 3.7 billion in 1970, and 7.4 billion in 2016. The world population increased fourfold in the last century, so what can we expect for the next century?
This is for educational use only. Our group is allowing our instructor, Mr. Roldan Ardines, to use this as an educational material. No copyright infringement is intended.
Populations refers to the total number of individuals, whether people, animals, or any living organisms, living in a specific area at a particular time. In human terms, it includes all the inhabitants of a city, region, or even the entire world. Populations is not just about the number of people, but it also involves the looking of their distribution, where they live, density, how crowded or spread out they are, and composition such as age, gender, or occupation. For example, when we say the population of Cebu is 1 million, we are not only referring to the count but also to how that group is spread across the different barangays, what age group they belong to, and what kind of work they do. Studying population helps the governments and organizations plan to resources like food, housing, education, jobs, and healthcare.
Demography, on the other hand, is the scientific study of population, especially human population. It goes beyond counting people by analyzing the patterns, characteristics, and change within a population. Demographers study factors such as birth rates, death rates, fertility, migration, and life expectancy. To understand how population grow, shrink, or move, they also look at social characteristics like education, employment, income, and marital status. For example, demography helps explain why some countries have fast-growing population like the Philippines, while others are facing population decline and aging like Japan or Italy. In short, population is the group of people itself, while demography is the study of how the group change and what characteristic it has. Understanding both is important because they help leaders, researchers, and policy makers make decisions about development, resources, healthcare, urban planning, and environment. Example: if the population of a city is rapidly increasing population, demography can help explain why, whether it's because of high birth rates, migration from rural areas, of people living longer.
Population and demography are both concerned with people, but they focus on different aspects. Population is all about the number of people living in a certain place at a given time, including how they are distributed and what group they belong to, such as by age, gender, occupation. It tells us the size and structure of community, city, country, or even the whole world. Demography, meanwhile, is the study of population.
Deeper by analyzing how population changes over time through factors such as birth, deaths, migration, and aging, as well as their social and economic characteristics like education, employment, health, and income. By examining these patterns, demography provides insight into how society develops adapt and respond to shifting circumstances. Together, population and demography helps us understand not just how many people there are, but also how and why populations grow, shrink, or move, and what challenges or opportunities these changes brings to society, such as the demands for jobs, housing, healthcare, and education, as well as their influence on culture, politics, and economic growth.
Here's a clear and detailed explanation. You can use the demographic transition theory or DTT explain how population changes over time as societies develop economically, socially, and technologically. It shows the relationship between birth rates and death rates and overall population growth in different stages of development. First, stage 1, high stationary. Both birth rates and death rates are high, so population growth is very slow. This stage represents pre-industrial societies where poor sanitation, limited food supply, and disease were common.
Stage 2, early expanding. Death rates began to fall due to improvements in medicine, sanitation, and food production. While birth rates remain high, this leads to rapid population growth. Many developing countries experienced this during the 20th century. Third, stage 3, late expanding. Birth rates start to decline because of urbanization, better education, family planning, and changing social values. Death rates remain low, so population growth slows down. Countries like India and the Philippines are in this stage.
Stage 4, low stationary. Both birth and death rates are low, leading to stable or very slow population growth. This stage is typically of developed countries such as US and UK. Stage 5, declining. In some countries, birth rates fall below death rates, leading to population decline and an aging society. Example include Japan, Germany, and Italy.
Global effect. The demographic transition affects the world uniquely. Developing nations in stage 2 and 3 experience rapid population growth, which can strain resources, create urban crowding, and challenging governments to provide jobs, housing, and healthcare. Meanwhile, development countries in stage 4 and 5 face the opposite problem: low fertility rate, shrinking workforces, and aging population, which affect economic productivity and increase the demand for elderly care. Globally, the theory helped explain why the world population exploded in the last two countries and why growth is expected to slow in the future, eventually establishing or even declining.
The demographic transition theory or DTT offers a powerful explanation of how population growth evolves alongside development. It shows that as societies progress from traditional agricultural economies to modern industrialized nations, both birth death rates change significantly. In early stage, population growth rapidly because of improved healthcare, sanitation, and food supply. However, as education, urbanization, and access to family planning improve, birth rates begin to decline, leading to slower growth and eventually population stability of the event decline. This transition reflects the close relationship between population dynamics and social progress.
Moreover, the theory highlights how different countries face different challenges depending on their stage. developing nations with fast-growing population often struggle with issues such as unemployment, poverty, and social service. In contrast, developed countries with aging and shrinking population face problems like labor shortage, reduced economic productive, and increasing demands for elderly care. Therefore, demographic knowledge allows policy makers and leaders to create informed strategy that balance population growth, resources management, and sustainable development. Ultimately, studying population and demography teaches us that people are at the center of development. Every change in population size, structure, or movement affects the economy. Understanding these patterns through demography and theories like the DTT Society can make better decisions to promote equality, ensure sustainable growth, and improve living conditions for both present and future generations. In this way, population study not only describe how humans live, but also guided how humanity can progress responsibly in an ever-changed world.